job with good money,
Yeah.
and right now I'm unemployed, with no way to find a job.
And Dr. Torres was saying the unemployment rate is higher amongst Hispanics than the general population. So I mean,
around the country, not only the Hispanics, also for the black population.
Right.
And when you consider for example, the Hispanics are the biggest minority group with such a huge unemployment rate, it is a big problem.
Yeah. And hopefully they'll be taking it out on the Democrats like the rest of us.
Yeah, it's not just the Hispanics. I think that anybody in general, if we ask, do you want more taxes? Do you want more government regulations? Do you want to buy insurance that you don't need or the government impose you to do? People don't like these things. I think that this is a general values that people oppose. It's not necessarily the Hispanics. I believe it's for everybody.
Yeah, it's anytime the government's telling you to do something here in America, it gives you that kind of icky feeling.
Right.
The 10th Amendment Summit that we had this past weekend was, oh man, it was a lot of people that felt like the government was telling them to do way too much. And
how many people were there?
They sold 550 tickets. There was 400 seats. So it's hard to really gauge. It doesn't seem like everybody that had a ticket showed up, but it was really packed in there, especially in the beginning. As the day wore on, more and more people started drifting away. But there was Hispanic groups there and everything, and there's a lot of people out there that believe in freedom and want their country back.
Not only freedom, but what we see here in this country, it's Obama. Well, the administration is trying to move this country to the socialism,
Right.
And this is what we don't want, because that's what we had in our we have in our countries,
right.
And
we have to be selective, because we know in Puerto Rico eso no existe.
No, well, Puerto Rico is part of the country, but other countries like Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua, Ecuador, Bolivia.
Yeah.
You want me to keep to tell the list? It's a long list that countries that are having dictatorships,
right.
with communism and all that stuff, and we don't believe in that. That's why we came here. We said I came here because I'm Hispanic too, and I came from Puerto Rico, but we feel that's the same way other Hispanics feels from other countries.
And you see it, I'm sure, a lot more in your media and stuff in Puerto Rico, what goes on in Central America than we see here, probably.
Exactly.
Go on, Dr. Torres.
If you look at what's going on now in South America, for example, Colombia, Peru, and Chile are doing great compared with Ecuador, Nicaragua, or Venezuela. The economy in those countries is a disaster.
Right.
Everything that has been implemented by those governments failed and continue to fail.
And there's a lot of government takeovers of private property and stuff in countries. I was just reading about Venezuela, how that nut job has a plan to, I don't know, what it was, some British company, and I forget what they make, but they were nationalizing it and just taking it from them, which, that's got to hurt investment.
Right.
What foreigners are going to want to put money into your economy knowing their stuff could just be taken from them?
Exactly. The foreign investment, for example, I am originally from Ecuador. In Ecuador, comparing with Peru, it is amazing. Nobody wants to invest anything in Ecuador with a socialist government. And what those governments do is very much trying to they give money away for nothing. That happens in Venezuela, in Ecuador, and there's no way that the economy is going to get better when you get paid to do nothing.
Right, and Ariel, that's very common in South America, where these left-wing leaders are real popular with the poor people, the farmers, the peasants, because they kind of redistribute wealth and give them money to do nothing. But for the most part, the people that come here from those countries are trying to escape that kind of stuff. So it seems natural that they would lean our way politically.
Well, these countries, except for Chile right now, the economy in Chile is getting better. The government is a right wing government right now, and they're doing it's a good economy. Is moving in the private sector. They're investing in the private sector actually. other countries like Bolivia and Ecuador, they're moving the other way.
Right.
They're trying to make bigger the countries, and I don't know how they're going to be surviving, because if they don't produce money, I mean, it's going to be really difficult for them to survive. And that's exactly what is going on here.
Ariel Santiago, Suki, Dr. Torres, thank you so much for checking in with us today.
Thank you.
We'll get some links up on our website to your websites and stuff, and you guys are obviously welcome back anytime.
Thank you so much.
Muchas gracias.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
We'll have plenty more to do on the show straight ahead. Stick around.
Information on the shows, our advertisers, special programming. You find it all at 660WORL.com.
Carolina Mountain Spring water is now available for home and office delivery throughout Central Florida. The water comes from a protected source located in the Blue Ridge Mountains in Cashiers, North Carolina. The water flows naturally to the surface, captured in an elaborate network of piping and equipment sealed deeply within the bedrock. The spring emerges from high elevation mountains comprised mainly of gneiss granite. From the time it rains on the mountain, it takes several weeks to naturally filter through the granite and emerge as pristine spring water. The water is so pure that it has less than 20 ppm total dissolved solids and is totally free of contaminants. The water comes in 5-gallon, 3-gallon, 1-gallon, and 1/2 liter bottles. They also have water coolers for sale or rental. Your family deserves the best. Call today for a free brochure and water analysis. Start your home or office delivery today, and let them prove to you why they feel their water and service is the best. Call in at Carolina Mountain Spring Water, 407-851-7144.
Do you love Dairy Queen? Do you love saving money? Well, here's your chance to combine them. Dairy Queen is offering 20% off your bill if you come on in and mention the Tea Party Patriots. Dairy Queen has a halal menu for our Muslim brothers and sisters. Stop by the Dairy Queen Grill and Chill, 3728 Curry Ford Road today and save 20% off your bill by just mentioning the Tea Party Patriots radio show.
Are you an inventor? Would you like to attempt to have your invention or idea patented and submitted to industry? Then you need InventHelp, America's #1 invention company, and they have free information for you. Learn how you can record your invention's date of origination, plus get valuable free information. Inventors, call InventHelp now.
800-377-3464, 800-377-3464, 800-377-3464.
You must head to a place where overweight, middle-aged people go to party and throw away money.
Capitol Hill?
Thanks again, guys. That's Ariel and Suki still even. They were awesome, and we're going to get a link up to their website from our Facebook page. If you want to jump in the conversation, 407-774-8255. That's 407-774-8255. But I always love talking about how there's, countries where there is no freedom, and people come to America from those countries, and they don't want a socialist dictatorship. Hey, Ariel's left-handed, so am I. Only the coolest people are left-handed.
Whatever. I'm ambidextrous, so I'm even cooler than both of you.
But if you're coming from someplace like Cuba or, Ecuador or Venezuela
or China,
why would you want to come someplace that has the same
and then watch while the government you ran away from is created here?
Right, yeah. It's like, why would you? That's like the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over or whatever and expecting different results. I mean, that's exactly what you're doing. You're like, wow, I gotta get out of here, this, big government and left-wing socialist, yada, 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 taking my whatever and this, and let's move to America and change that into the same kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I think it's funny because the Democrats, that's their favorite people to go. They target them, but their message is we need to be like China.
But I think for the most part, like we were saying a few minutes ago with with our come here are going to generally be more conservative anyway.
That's like I said, it's all groups. The Indian communities that come here, the Chinese communities, the Arab communities, they all came here to get away from these oppressive style governments. And when they get here, most of them are financially and socially conservative.
And I think the more and more we find people from those ethnic minorities to run as conservative candidates for office, the more the message gets out to their community. And it's, I'm just guessing, but I've got to imagine that there's a lot of people that are conservative leaning in, you know, different minority communities where they feel like they can't be a Republican though, or they can't tell people that they're a conservative because it's looked down upon.
I hear it all the time. It's like, well, you know, I believe in what the conservatives say, but they sound like bigots. They sound like racists. Like they pick on people and single groups out, and all you ever see is Spaldings and
there is quite a bit of that.
Yeah, so and they're like, I have to vote Democrat.
But here's my thing that I always say to you though, and you know, we talked about this today. The Democrats are no better.
No, not at all.
The argument from the Muslim community is always, well, the Republicans are racist and they stereotype us, but the Democrats do the exact same thing.
They just do it more veiled.
And you admitted to me, you know, at my house that one day that when it comes to foreign policy, which moves a lot of Muslims' votes, that the Democrats are just as bad.
Yeah, there's been more Afghan civilians killed in 18 months of Obama's rule than in 80 months with Bush there. I mean, that says itself. 30,000 more troops in Afghanistan, $30 more billion to Israel. Exactly which one of the Muslim voting points that he promised you something on has he not completely gone back on his word, and yet you still support him?
And if that's going to be your...
And even Park 51, he double talked on it.
Yeah, he wasn't real clear about it.
More Democrats came out openly condemning it. And usually they were the first.
If that's the issue that moves your vote, if foreign policy is the issue that moves your vote, and the two parties are exactly the same on foreign policy anyway, or pretty much the same on foreign policy, why not vote for free market economics and vote Republican?
At least vote for the people that are going to let you keep your money in your pocket.
Right. And you know, I think a lot of minority groups would feel that way if we got the message to them. I certainly feel like a lot of younger people, a lot of people our age, I mean, we're both 29.
Well, the Dan Grayson ad, I think, is case in point.
Alan Grayson.
I mean, yeah, the Alan Grayson ad is case in point. Two times he's come out with veiled insults. I mean, he was trying to insult someone else, but he was using me to do it. You know, oh, well, Taliban Dan, and he wants to instill Sharia law. What? Excuse me? I thought that was like the Sharon Angle and the Newt Gingrich line.
Speaking of which, can we talk about Christine O'Donnell for just a second? Did anyone else watch the debate, the Delaware Senate debate?
I don't think she did herself any favors.
Oh, no.
Oh.
I was watching that debate thinking, and Kelsey, I think, felt the same way. Like, every time she opened her mouth, she just sounded really unprepared.
It was like Palin during the McCain election.
She did. She reminded me a lot of Sarah Palin. And it's so funny. People still say that they want Sarah Palin to run for president.
Why?
And I don't understand why. Oh, speaking of which,
Gary Johnson for president.
Yeah, Gary Johnson for president.
Paul, Gary Johnson.
Let's give away a copy of the book, the Faith and Values of Sarah Palin. Scott Plakin told me we could give away a few copies, so let's 407-774-8255 if you want a copy of the book, The Faith and Values of Sarah Palin.
No, our internet listeners can call us.
Anybody can call,
So,
anybody, if you're listening on the internet or over the air, 407-774-8255. The first caller gets a copy of The Faith and Values of Sarah Palin. And the lines are just lighting up, aren't they?
Cricket.
No, there you go. Somebody wants it. Somebody wants it.
Last time we
got rid of two of them.
Yeah, and they
get their hey, guy behind the glass, get their